And once you lose that concept of a soul, that each person is a soul of infinite value and dignity, that's when you begin down walking the path of dehumanization.
Yes, well, let's work. I mean, it's just my mind went to, if you were to be at a peace rave in southern Israel, and you saw a Hamas operative coming down on a hang glider towards you, how are you capable of seeing that person?
Right.
Now that's an extreme position, but I'm just saying there are points at which someone's behavior, someone's aspect will completely make it extremely hard for you to see the good within them.
Yeah. Well, the guys on the paragliders are the essence of dehumanization because they're killing, raping, murdering kids at a festival. And so that is what we want to avoid above all else. And so how do we regard the Hamas terrorists who did this? Well, I would say you're not going to help the situation by having a conversation with them and saying, well, let me really see you. No, that some people just need to be beaten. In my view, Donald Trump just needs to be beaten. I'm not going to somehow make Donald Trump a civilized human being by having a good conversation with him. But outside of those people, I still, even in these circumstances, I didn't like it when the Israeli defense minister called Hamas animals.
Well, me neither.
Yeah, it's not fair to the animals in the first place, but you should never get over the fact that this is a human being. And that'll offer at least some restraint on your behavior. But then most people, and I don't like Trump, but I've had a zillion conversations with Trump supporters, and it's perpetually hard to hate people up close. And I think one of the reasons we have Donald Trump is because we've created a society in which 54% of Americans say that no one knows them well. The number of people who say they have no close personal friends has gone up by 4 times in the last 20 years. Depression rates, suicide rates. 36% of Americans have broken with a member of their immediate family. The number of Americans who say give themselves the lowest happiness rating is 45%, up 50% in 20 years. So we're in the middle of some sort of social and relational crisis. And as Hannah Arendt said years and decades ago, loneliness always leads to authoritarianism. Lonely people seek out authoritarians to give themselves a status and meaning. And so the book will not rescue Donald Trump from being the narcissist that he is. But I do think the skills that I try to describe, just how to offer forgiveness, and how to ask for forgiveness, how to ask good questions, how to see somebody else's point of view, how to break up with someone without crushing their heart. These are basic social skills that I think will make our societies more decent and more humane and head off the kind of authoritarian monsterism that we've seen.
That's why I found it interesting that as your work has progressed over the years, you've always been fascinated by social types, by the way human beings interact with each other. But you also had a predominant interest in politics and ideas and arguments. But it seems to me, and this is just my own reading of what you've been writing, is that at some point, I think you may have realized that politics isn't going to solve this. The politics that we have used and developed is not going to resolve these questions. We can't do it at that level. We have to start again at the bottom level. We have to open our minds and hearts from the ground up, and that starts with us. So it's a very kind of almost anti-political book in that sense.
Yeah, well, I think our society is over-politicized and under-moralized, that we pay too much attention to every little political trick or disgrace, and not enough to the basic questions of how do you be a good friend? How do you build a friendship? And we just don't teach the skills. You know, I read a statistic that came out long after the book was done, but the number of boys who've never been on a date, teenagers who've just never been on a date, and they wanted to know why, so they investigated. And the main reason, or a main reason, was poor flirting skills. Like flirting is a skill. And so, to rebuild a good society, you have to have an open heart, but it's not enough. You have to have social skills. And so
obviously social media and the internet has had a huge impact on the amount of time literally people spend physically, humanly with other people, which is how you learn these things.
Yeah, disastrously negative effect. And I imagine I'm more pro AI than most people are, but I imagine AI is going to be another threat.